All right, I'm going to try to clear up here if you did a cylinder, making sure we're on the right path here. Our job is to create the cheapest container, but keep the same volume. All right, so our job is to minimize surface area and keep the same volume. So our max or minimizing equation is our surface area equation. I'm trying to figure this out. My secondary equation is the volume because I want to keep the volume the same. So I wrote my volume of a cylinder, whatever you got on the front side. So whatever you found on the front side for your volume, that is what you're going to plug in here. Okay, so sorry, this was for a square, but my volume is going to be the same. So whatever you found on the front side, that's what you're going to make this equal to. The problem with this surface area equation, if I'm trying to maximize or minimize it, is I need it in terms of one variable. And right now, I've got two. I've got R and H. That's why we need the secondary equation. So once I have this secondary equation, the next thing I'm going to do is solve for a variable. So in here, I'm going to solve for H. So I'm going to divide by pi r squared, divide by pi r squared. That's going to cancel, leaving me just H. This is what H is. This thing right here is H. So I'm going to rewrite this surface area equation, and I'm going to plug in that thing for H. So R, and then instead of H, I'm going to plug in my volume over pi r squared. I'm going to try to simplify that, so just make it a little bit cleaner. So my surface area, 2 pi r squared. Here, my pi is going to cancel, and one of my radius is going to cancel. So I'm left with 2 times 100, so I get 200. And then that r is on bottom, so it's r to the negative 1. That's my equation. It's a surface area. That's what I'm trying to maximize or minimize, but I want it in terms of one variable. So if I want it, boom, I got that. So the next thing I got to do is take the derivative. So my derivative here, multiply by 2. So it's 4 pi r multiply by a negative. So now it's negative 200 r to the negative 2 because I subtract 1 from my exponents. I'm taking that and setting it equal to 0. And I know this is strange, but we're going to solve. Multiply by 4, or I'm sorry, add the 4 pi r over, or I'm going to add this over. Let's just add that over. So it's going to be 200 r to the negative 2, but now it's positive because I moved it across. And that's equal to 4 pi r. Next thing I need to do is get r's by itself. And right now I have r on both sides of the equation. So remember, if it's r to the negative 2, that is the same thing as divided by r squared. So the way I'm going to get the r's on the same side is I'm going to multiply both sides by r squared. That's going to cancel. I get 4 pi r cubed equals 200. Now I just solve. So in my calculator, I'm going to take 200. I'm doing my calculator off screen because I don't want to pull my calculator up, but I'm going to take 200. I'm going to divide it by 4 pi. When you divide, all right, now I'm not going to do it off screen because this is a big mistake that students make. I'm dividing by 4 pi, but when I divide by 4 pi, you have to put it in parentheses. Students will type divided by 4 pi, and that would be completely wrong. So you got to make sure you put it in parentheses. So when I type this in, it's 200 divided by parentheses 4 pi. Close those parentheses. Hit enter. Boom, there's my answer. But that is what r cubed is. So to get rid of r cubed, to get rid of the cube, I need to cube root it. So you can do that however you'd like. I do that by taking that answer and raising it to the 1/3 power. That's the same thing as cube root. It's just easier to type in. That is my radius. My radius is 2.515, which is great. I've got my radius, but I also need my height. To find my height, I now plug it back in. So remember, I had this equation right here at the start. My equation for volume was this. I know what my R is now. It's 2.515. We're going to square that times H. I'm going to then solve for my new height. So when you solve that thing, again, I'm taking 100. I'm dividing it by pi in my calculator. I'm dividing by 2.515 squared. And I get H is 5.034. Okay, I rounded a little bit in there. I was being a bad teacher here, but notice that these two numbers have similar values, that my height should be about twice as much as my radius. And that's a great way to check to see if you're doing it right. Once you found your R and your H, then you're just verifying your results. you're going to find the volume. And if you're doing it right, your volume should stay the same. So for me, my volume is going to be 100 there, just to double check. Then I'm going to do surface area. And if I'm doing it right, my surface area should get smaller because I was trying to minimize surface area and then work from there. All right. Hope that makes sense to you. I know it was a little bit confusing in class, but trying to clear it up there, see if you can earn those points. Thanks, guys.